I do think, though, that what God set up, and this is where I disagree with even your beginning as an Orthodox Christian, is that, and even as Orthodox, particularly in the first 1,000 years, acknowledged that Rome has a special place, not just of honour. More than that.
I think yeah.
Because they do say even now, that Rome has the authority to be a final court of appeal. Yes. When the local metropolitan can't agree of whatever it is. So it's more than just first among equals.
It's different from Vatican I. I think that's
it's very different. Absolutely right. What I'm trying to say is, though, even now they agree with that idea that Rome's the final court of appeal. But before the Great Schism, they were saying they were accepting much more authority from the Bishop of Rome in the Council of Chalcedon, the Tome of Leo. And they say, Peter spoken through Leo and so on. And various other things like that, which we need not go into in any detail.
There's lots of that.
But the point really is, for me, that two things. Scripture, Jesus gives to Peter solely the keys to the kingdom of heaven.
I would say in Matthew 18, I think anyway.
Let the guest speak to me. Go on, you were going to say.
I think in Matthew 18, then he said, I will give you the, sorry, Matthew 16, he says, I will give you the keys.
Yes.
Matthew 18, he says, he then gives the keys to the church to bind and to forgive sins.
Implicitly, you mean?
I think in Matthew 18 is the final actual giving of the keys. And
but that's him. That would be
a Cyprianic view of saying, all the bishops sit on the cathedra.
But you mean, though, that implicitly, because explicitly in Matthew 16. I'm trained. I mean, this guy, this chap. So in Matthew 16, you've got Peter explicitly being given the keys. In Matthew 18, from your point of view, implicitly all the apostles are given that, because it's not mentioned expressly. That's what I'm trying to say. So once we got to that point, what it matters is that in Matthew 16, we can agree, yes, the keys are mentioned there, they're given there, they said they will be given there. In Matthew 18, we interpret it as the power to bind and loose being the bestowal of the keys. Just trying to make sure we're on the same pitch when we talk about it. And therefore, I further say that Peter alone is given the keys and the power to bind and loose on his own in Matthew 16. He with the rest of the apostles are given power in Matthew 18. Therefore, my understanding of that would be that in Matthew 16, Peter can exercise all the power on his own, whereas the other apostles can only exercise it collectively from Matthew 18. I accept that there can be different interpretations of that.
Yeah,
so
I think that's where we're at now. Yeah.
But I think my interpretation is a fair one. Not necessarily right, but fair. And so then I go to a practical question. There must be a chief executive in any corporation. And if you don't have that, in Orthodoxy, the Greek Orthodox Church, the Serbian Orthodox Church, all the Orthodoxies, they have their head patriarch.
How much does he love you?
So they accept that level of locality, although the Greek Orthodox is sprawling, they must have a chief. And what we say is that the entire body of Christians must have a chief. And that's partly why Jesus made Peter the chief of the apostles in our view. Because even then, even with 12 men, not just the 12 men, but of course the 72 more broadly, and the rest of them who are not named more broadly, they all had to have a chief. Because with that chief, you end up having a kind of these fancy anarchistic ideas that everybody can get along without having a structure of leadership. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I do accept the view of
it's corrupt and bent and crooked.
You've won. I accept. I've lost.
Stop it.
Oh, go on.
Right. What about Paul? Paul came in to do what?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think actually the point about Paul is very interesting. I think if the same things were written about Peter as they were about Paul, I think people would be very quick to latch onto. I think you can make an argument. I thought this very interesting article arguing for Pauline primacy based on some texts that are about Paul and about how he's been given authority in the churches and how all these various things. But I do accept. I mean, I think it's fine to say that Paul or rather Peter had a level of primacy among the apostles. I think that's given. He does seem to be the first amongst equals, certainly among the apostolic college. But again, I think think that is very. I think then the next step to get from there to
The successors.
I think the point of succession as well is a big thing. And yeah, then the later doctrine of Vatican I, and everything going after that is that's where the gaps really need to be filled. I think going from Matthew 16:18 to Vatican I is a leap that is
A bridge too far, as the old film
I think
said.
would be a breach. And I mean, even in John 20, when Jesus breathes on all the apostles for them to forgive sins, I see.
Oh well, we know all our priests, ministers of each bishop,
that's
forgive
what you guys
sins.
appeal to,
So we don't deny the power to forgive sins. It's not from the Pope. It's in each bishop and is armed to other priests.
Yes.
And that's true.